She'll get it.
All right, here we are. It is Chiropractic is Sexy. It is another Thursday. I am Dr. Paula Ruffin.
And I am Dr. Erica Peabody, and we're always happy to be with you every Thursday. I was chatting with a friend last night and just talking about how we really get on here and we get to riff. We don't get to talk in such a sassy, like confrontational way necessarily in practice. However, I think I told you guys last week, I was dropping F-bombs with a patient.
Oh, you were sassy.
I was. And you want to know what? The feedback from it, especially, so she went on to visit somebody else in the building who she's really connected with. And this is the feedback. I have to let you know that I ran into so-and-so on Thursday, which was right before this, on her way out. And she was so inspired when she left you. She said, she has to quit saying, I can't. She shared your conversation and said how good it was for her. She said she was so much better after the appointment with you. The work you do is amazing, not only chiropractic, but giving people encouragement to keep moving. You really are inspirational. And it goes on from there. But I just saw that same patient and she said, whatever you did last week, which we talked about, right? I adjusted her, but it's more of that mindset shift. She said, it has held all this week. I'm like, we got to get our mind on straight. So anyway, that is not what I wanted to share, but I did want to start with that story because I did just see her. So yeah, that's great.
Well, I think that's great that, that you brought that up because also we talk about these stories on the regular, and I think it's wonderful to come back and tie a bow on something that you laid out with somebody, right? Like, how did it start? Well, how did it end? Or how's it evolving? So right. Yes, thank you for sharing that. And and the fact that you just like leaned into it with a million F-bombs with her.
I did.
And it came straight from your heart with so much love. And we are able to have these really raw and real conversations with people because we gain such a deep trust and we do really want to see the best for everybody. So
yeah, it's about independent living. This particular patient is 74. And although my dad passed away when he was 74, really as our population is aging, it's like she has a potential for 10, 20 plus more years. Like it's really hard to say. And so the most important part is just to have the independence that we all want to the bitter end of our lives. We want, if nothing else, we want to be able to live independent and be independent. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
so
for sure.
I said, this is your why, because you want to be independent. She's got this little dog. His name's Ricky, and she calls him Tricky Ricky. It's so funny. God, I just love patients. They're so cute to me. This little Tricky Ricky. And anyway, she just like a smile comes on her face. And, we're both dog owners too. It's just like so much joy to have this little being in our lives. So.
Oh my gosh. See, in the morning, there's so many different morning routines that people talk about, right? Or the 5 a.m. club and get up and do your meditations and your affirmations and all of this stuff. And I'm telling you, when my dog jumps on my bed, there's an immediate smile, the tail wagging. He's so happy, like the endorphins that get released just from having a morning greeting from your animal. Oh my gosh. Like that to me, that trumps any like affirmation, any meditation or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm to start the day.
Yeah. My little guy, my littlest, we celebrated his gotcha day on Monday, was 2 years with us, and us meaning me and Lou. But anyway, I literally, and I've shared this before, I literally have to step down out of bed when I'm ready to get up into my sneakers. And I need to go, I'm not even kidding you guys. Like it was about 5 degrees this morning, and you just bundle up and get out. And although it's hard, I'm not going to say this is easy. He's a little guy, but he's quite a bit of maintenance. And it's one of the greatest things I do is step right outside my door and get fresh air 365 days a year, unless I'm away and he has a dog sitter. You know what I mean? Like it is literally like off we go out
Yeah.
the door and get fresh air. Rain, snow, sleet, hail. It does not matter. It's right out the door. It's one of the healthiest things I think I probably do with my day. And then I come in and then we kind of just like calmly get ready for the day. And it's really wonderful. But with Lewis, I don't necessarily have to step right outside, but with Tater, because he's so little, I have bald eagles and other birds of prey in my area. So he's never going to be able to go outside, but that fresh air, and sometimes it's light.
He's breakfast.
Yeah. Sometimes it's light and sometimes we are by headlamp, and either way I'm out. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what a way to start your morning too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Big
love
glass
it.
of water and a walk outside. Okay. So what I really want to talk about was another conversation I had last night. Do you know what holiday is tomorrow? It's going to be January 10th.
Okay.
Have you heard of a holiday on January 10th? It's called Quitter's Day.
Oh, yes, I have heard this. Yes.
I did not hear this until last night, and it's Quitter's Day, and I looked it up, and it's actually an official day now, and there was research done in 2019 by the Strava app, which is actually an app that for athletes to track their runs and their training and blah, blah, blah. And 80% of people that set a New Year's resolution quit by tomorrow. It's
actually 88%.
Yeah. I was going to say some of them were saying 90%. It's the second Friday of the new year.
Yeah.
That's, whoa, dude. Whoa.
Hold on. The second Friday. So, okay. And I'm sure this stats are in somewhat of flux, but yeah. So that's probably 80%. And then I've heard 88% by the second week. So we're almost into it. But still, you're right. It's like, what?
Second Friday, Quitter's Day.
Is going on? Yes.
10 days? That's all you give yourself? And
right.
Then peace out.
Which means that you weren't that serious about it to begin with, right?
And the other part is where I was talking to him about was that people lead up through all of November and all of December to figure out what they want to set their New Year's resolution as. Like what New Year's resolution do you want exactly? And then you've given yourself 10 days and you're off already. And if you're listening to this, I want you to consider what that actually means in a human's life. Like we are spending 355 days out of the year. You've already given up on something you spent 60 days to try and determine what it was. And now you're headed into, and let's just be honest, like we have beautiful sunshine, which lifts everybody's mood. But here in Michigan, we don't get a lot of sun in the wintertime. So then you add that into it and you add, some cold, gloomy days, sometimes rain, although I'm loving this snow and I hope it sticks around the whole time, doesn't rain on it.
Are you getting snow right now?
No, snow outside on the ground.
Oh,
no, but it's supposed to come tomorrow again. But it's also like, if we're spending only 10 days focused on what we really want to do with our year ahead, like we got to change this. And how do we change that?
For sure. And this is where, that's why I started Reset Monday a few years ago, because I got tired of hearing that people just don't want to commit to themselves. And the whole resolution thing makes no sense to me, because why are you waiting till January to take care of yourself? And actually what's interesting is I saw another article that talked about the origin that the new year, and this is somewhere back in some other calendar, the new year used to be in like March, like when the solstice started to move, when the sun started to come, we got more sunlight. And so spring was like the time of new rebirths and resolutions. And somehow we made it January 1st, which also in the dead of winter doesn't seem all that motivating.
Right.
But, I created Reset Monday because I'm like, every week you have an opportunity, every day you have an opportunity to step up and be better today than you were yesterday. And I did in my live stream on Sunday, I talked about the power of 1 degree. Do you know that story, the power of 1 degree?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it sounds familiar. I'm not sure that I know all the details by you just mentioning it, but yeah.
So the power of 1 degree is it takes 1 degree to turn ice into water, and it takes 1 degree to turn water into steam.
Mm-hmm.
So ice will be ice at 32 degrees, and as soon as it hits 33, it begins to melt.
Mm-hmm.
Water will boil at 120? Geez, I forgot what it is.
Is it 212?
212, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So at 211 degrees, water boils, and at 212, it turns to steam. Mm-hmm. So it's 1 degree. It does not take much. And if people just considered just these small, simple steps each and every day, and I think there's this whole, like, you have to have this catastrophic thing happen for you to super step into, okay, well, now I have to do something huge, like go on a weight loss shot or get stomach surgery, but if you just took small, simple steps each and every day, you would be patient, because it's not going to happen 10 days into the, anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's crazy to me. I'm like, go to the gym, exercise regularly. In the gyms, everybody goes in like 6 weeks and then they're out. I saw a guy at the gym yesterday, and I said, I hadn't seen his wife for a few months. And I know a little bit of her backstory where she struggled with weight. She was working with my trainer for a little while. But then her husband thought he could do better training her. And so she worked out with him for a while. She never really lost weight. She's really like battling with that. So I saw him yesterday, and I said, "Where's your wife been?" And he goes, "Oh, well, she went back to work." And our trainer, he's like, "She's in her ear a little bit, but I gotta," basically saying like she stopped being motivated to go to the gym. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, regardless of what her goal was, and she can't lose weight, that's one thing. And it's like, well, you still need to figure out the secret sauce,
mm-hmm.
but not exercising is not going to help in the long term.
Right. Exactly.
So really optimizing health is not something that we look at for, I'm going to do it for 2 weeks and then I'm done. I'm going to eat a healthy meal for 2 weeks and then I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm going to brush my teeth for 2 weeks and then I never have to do that again. Right.
I know.
I'm going to take a shower for 2 weeks and then I never have to bathe again. Right. Like, when is it done?
Right. When do I get to stop doing this?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
No, it's really awesome. I had this patient. She started actually regular care probably spring of last year. She was kind of dabbling in and out of care, which people do. And by the way, I cannot comment, but hello, Chairman. Once I share mine out, if I don't respond to you, so hello. I can't actually type any comments once I do that on my side. It puts me in jail. It puts me in comment jail. So thank you for being here. But this patient, she was in earlier today, but she started dabbling in care, probably the end of 2023 and the beginning of 2024. And then something clicked for her. And now she's just been in once a week, every week, no matter what. She always takes a picture of the adjusting table and like the room that she's in, and she shares it up on social media, which I really appreciate. So if you're listening to me, we really do appreciate that. But when she started under once a week care, she's like, this is the greatest thing that I've added into my life. And she is early to mid 30s, I think. She just quit her corporate job and went out as a CEO of her own company, started her own company. She's working with children and wellness and all of that too. But she just was never a chiropractic patient prior to 2023. And now every time she comes in, she's like, thank you so much. I feel so much better. And it's almost as though I really call it's like the Control-Alt-Delete, like the hard reset of the system. And then when you do that once a week, you actually, so when you're talking about that guy and his wife losing her motivation, there's research behind the chiropractic adjustment that your willpower increases. So that is one thing that has been studied under regular chiropractic care is willpower, and your desire to make healthier choices actually increases. And then it leads to just like this, kind of keep that ball rolling. It's like that little engine that could, you get an adjustment, you go out into your world and you kind of second guess, like, and use a little bit different of a healthier filter in making the rest of your choices during the week. And that's what she reports back to me almost every week. She's like, this is the greatest thing I've added. I feel so much better about my week. I can't wait to be here every week. I love getting adjusted, where before it was like, I was following one of her journeys and just responding as a friend was initially where it started on Instagram. And then it just developed into, now she's just having just an awesome time. So, and feeling great all the time, starting new workouts and back to running after postpartum and just all the things. So it's been really great. So,
well, and I think we've seen that happen with multiple people over time, where they start care, like you said, dabbling in care. And this is also where we're going to talk about change is coming up. So people dabble in care. It's change. It's something new. It's different. We're also selling the intangible. So people have to really trust that their lives are going to be positively impacted when they're under chiropractic care. And so oftentimes what will happen is you'll start, and then you'll do that dabble thing, and then you leave, not necessarily like, you felt really well, but then you leave and you're like, yeah, that's good. I'm good. I've eaten enough healthy meals for a lifetime. I'm good. I never have to eat another one again.
Right.
I say in jest. So then you leave, and then several months goes by, maybe a couple of years, and then you come back. They always come back. And they're like, I didn't realize how much it was actually helping me. And so then they may or may not dabble again. This is sort of that middle ground, right? They may or may not dabble again. They may stay a little bit longer. Yeah, I'm going to stick with it. And then let's say they fall off again. Now it doesn't take as long for them to come back. Now they come back again after a time away, and they're like, I am never doing that again. Yeah, I can't believe how much better I felt under care and how much worse I felt after, because you start to become more in tune to how your body feels and what it needs. And that's what we want, is instead of waiting until there's something catastrophic or some kind of crisis in your health, we want you to be so tuned in to small little shifts and changes that you're like, I'm not really having pain, but I know things just aren't right, and I need to go get that corrected. And that's ultimately, you may dabble at first, but you're going to find yourself coming and, like they say, marrying the chiropractor after a while.
Yeah, for sure. I was, maybe I'll bring it up next time because I can't pull it up on my phone. So I have a patient who's actually, I know I chatted with him over email, and he was here, last time he was here was 2019. And he's starting back under care with me this afternoon. And we had this conversation, and I'll bring his x-rays into the next conversation we have next week, because, okay, so my office, it feels like you're coming into a home. We run our office very seriously, but I make it really like, I don't want to call it nonchalant, but it's like, you're going to make your choices. I'm going to educate you. You're going to make your choices. So and I know this guy's history, and he was under care when he was here for quite a while. And as I look back, I can kind of see he was under care since 2012, then 16, then 17, then 18, 19, and then now I haven't seen him. But I can tell you that my recommendations to him started as more frequently up front to get him situated. And then, we reduce down care to once a week, and then it goes down to every other week. And that's usually my minimum recommendation. I mean, I would love everybody that starts under care to continue under care weekly for the rest of their lives and bring their whole family. Like, that really is our goal. But now that I can see the x-rays, and what part of his issue is, he is a workaholic, like 10x of anything. When I say that word, 10x what you would even think of, this man exists at and has for decades. And his lumbar spine is now like failing on one side, and he still works out with a trainer. He's at my gym. I see him regularly. He's the nicest man ever. And he's like, I cannot go down to this other office anymore. It's too much time out of my day. And he doesn't, he lives close to here, but the way his life worked, he got recommended to go down to this other office. He's like, I started care. And then I'm like, if you can do exactly what you were doing before. And I'm like, I wish you never would have stopped, because now his why is, I want to get in and out, which I'm good with. And I want to be able to work as hard as I can for the rest of my life, which I'm also good with. And his spine is failing. So he's like, I don't want to get to the place of foot drop, which I get, and it's headed there very quickly. And it's like, we can't stress it enough. And I never mean to be nonchalant here and just like easygoing, like easy breezy. It's very, very, very serious to take care of your spine and find spinal health through your years, because this guy runs multiple corporations all through the nation, actually. And it's like, I tried to tell you. Yeah. I tried to tell you, and I don't know what it's going to take for us to really get that across, and why we have to be in this like serious crisis in order to like take what we are telling you and listen and apply to life. Your spine controls and coordinates everything about your body. It's the most critical part of your body. It's encased by bone completely because it's so critical, and we have to keep it moving. And I know that he has wellness ideas on his mind. I know that he doesn't necessarily, it's hard to live all of those principles, even for us, but we would do our best to. And, now that I look at the x-rays, I was like, ugh. Yes, we will help you. We'll be closer. We'll get you in and out and keep you. You have to do that on repeat. So anyway.
Well, and it's making that commitment. It's ultimately deciding that the value is worth the time taken away. Like he's now finally realizing that, okay, let's just call him a workaholic. But if he doesn't take 15 minutes once a week away from this workaholism and take care of himself, that is actually going to decrease his productivity. It's going to decrease his bandwidth, his physical, mental, emotional ability to be able to continue to work like he wants to work. So you have to ultimately figure out that balance and say, okay, this is worth it for me to step away. And I think we all have experiences like that where we're driven, we're just going. And then you either just take a day off, or you take a vacation, or you take a moment, or you just like sit and, chill out on the couch. I don't know, or go have dinner with friends. When you are able to unplug and turn off that constant engine that's just driving 100 miles an hour, you always feel better, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we always are like, wow, that felt amazing.
And we forget. I think it's so easy to just forget, to just plain forget that we need to take a breather. Actually, I can actually show you guys what I'm talking about here. We forget that what we need to be doing until we have a moment where we can step aside. And so it's like, okay, so we're going to be taking 15 minutes twice a week in order for you to not take 100% of your life off of your life. Like you're going to just keep losing. And of course, there we go. And I don't know if you can see that very well. Of course, it's not going to
because your name is also in the way, and it's kind of in your ring light, and
I know it won't work.
Yeah.
I could have done a screen share, which I'll try and do next time. But so it is like you take the time and take care, or your body's going to take the time from you completely, like completely.
Yeah. Well, and I've said so often that now none of us can really afford to be sick and not being able to move and do the things that we want to do every day. But especially if you're like high level CEO you're managing all of those things, there is zero room for not having health optimization.
Right.
You cannot be a good leader, a good entrepreneur, a good business owner, a good mother, father, any position of leadership that you are in any capacity, you cannot possibly be the best you are, or you can be, if you are not taking care of all the pillars of health. And, we talk about eating and movement, sleep, eating, nutrition, mindset, chiropractic, like all of that. We have to be able to maintain all of those pillars if you want pure health optimization. Yep. And I know for me, I'm, I want to optimize my health. I want to continue to optimize my health. Just on the simplest of things, I had a patient who came in, I think I told this story a few weeks ago, and she came in and she was talking about, she's like, I've got arthritis in my back. And she'd been a patient for a while. And I'm like, yeah, I know. That's what we're doing here. We're minimizing the progression of that. And she was like, because I don't use the word arthritis. I think I've said this because it becomes this badge of honor, because just like her, she was like it made her sad. It made her, she had no hope. So I don't use that word. It's a word that gets into people's neurology that makes them think there's nothing I can do about it, and I'm doomed to have arthritis. And that is no way to live, and that will make you sicker. So I don't use the word. I am upfront and I'm like, yeah, you've got this degeneration. Some would call it arthritis. We're not going to use that word here. Maybe I don't use it enough, but again, I'm trying to protect your neurology as best as I possibly can. And so I told her, I showed her a couple of exercises and things that she needed to be doing to protect that, talked to her about the importance of why she's here regularly so we can slow down the process. And something came up about, I think I wanted her to do like deep squats, just like squat down and stand back up, like an Asian squat and stand back up. And she was like, oh, my knees hurt when I do this. Now she's, I think, late 40s, early 50s, right? So she's like a little younger than me, about your age, I would say. And so she said, oh, I can't do that. It hurts when I do that. And I'm like, yeah, then you need to do it. Like, she doesn't have a knee injury. She's just, let's just call her 50, and she has creaky, achy knees. Welcome to the effing club. Like, if I don't go in, if I don't do some kind of deep squats every single day, you know what happens? My knees hurt. You know what happens when I do them every day? They hurt. Yeah. You know what they feel like after I've done that? They feel better. So it's this whole nonsense of, and I'm sure you've had patients like this who are like, yeah, well, the doctor said that because my knees hurt, I shouldn't do this, or because my back hurts, I shouldn't do this. No, that means you should do it more. That's why you are hurting, because you're not leaning into the movement and the flexibility and the mobility that you absolutely deserve. And as chiropractors, we're improving that mobility. We're improving your opportunity to stay optimized.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, along the way, I know I talk ad nauseum about just lifestyle choices. It comes up just multiple times every single day. Eat well, move well, think well, drink your water, get your rest, get adjusted. And, and for us too, we both need to be able to show up properly. I FaceTime with Dr. Paula on Sunday. I'm like, I bet she's cooking and I need a little advice about cooking. And so we're like FaceTimed and cooked for a little while. It was really fun. And it's like, we're doing the things, we're doing our best to walk the talk. I had a patient in this morning, and it was really great because she's like, we were just chit-chatting. She's a therapist here in town. And she said, I know that I need to come in. This is my gauge. And this is an awesome gauge. Everybody's got their own thing. Don't wait for pain. But she said, it's at night when I am tossing and turning. And she said, when I realize I can't shut my brain down, I'm not getting good sleep, and that I'm just moving and shifting and moving and shifting instead of relaxing into the bed and sleeping. She said, I just know that is, and she's been under care for, when I think about care, because I moved I think 4 office. This is my 4th or 5th. I'll have to look back. But I just remember when they first start coming to care and what office I was in. So she's been with me at least 15 years, and she went like through her schooling and through to get her MSW and like worked for a practice and now owns her own practice and just all of this. And she's like, I just know that is my key indicator of how my body's working is when I cannot relax in the night and soften into my bed and go to sleep. I just know I need to come in and get adjusted. I'm like, that's brilliant, because it doesn't have to do with neck pain, low back pain. It has to do with the jazzed up, overstimulated nervous system and like being in that sympathetic overdrive. I mean, we think about a therapist these days and how much there's like in the energy of the people. And then she's also, she's in great shape. She's an athlete. She's a dog mom. She's just this awesome person. And like, it's so great that she doesn't use a key indicator of pain. She uses a key indicator of, I'm to this. Mm-hmm. I need to get an adjustment so I can be this. And that's where our fight or flight, or we heal and feel and breathe and rest and digest and feed and breathe in that parasympathetic.
Well, and think about all the babies that we adjust.
Oh my gosh.
When they have sleep issues and latching issues. And how many pictures have you gotten? Mom brings the baby in, and even just after the first adjustment, and then a couple hours later, here comes the picture of the baby just sound asleep, because that's what it does. It rests, it puts you into parasympathetic, rest, digest, and repair. And it allows you to now get your sleep. And I love that about her, that she's recognized that it actually helps her brain and her neurology. Like that's the key to everything.
It is. It really is. I mean, we can't get through our days in this energy. So I had this little guy and I saw him. It was very cool because this mom she's a super crunchy mom. And I say that with all due respect, like she wants to raise her kids naturally. It was her 4th baby, and she had a planned C-section because of previous labors and deliveries. But the very cool part, and there's not a lot of places doing this, is she was able to reach down during her C-section and grab and pull her baby. I know, it's incredible. I mean, assisted with,
they allowed her to do that.
It's amazing. It's not allowed very many places, but some of the doctors, and if they're asked properly. So anyway, so freaking cool. And they had a photographer there. This little guy, though, he has been mad his whole life. Like he is now 9 months. They were under care initially for about 2.5 months. And then I just got aggressive in my language at some point. And as a as a mom to a newborn, like she's so tired and he's just struggling and struggling and struggling and struggling. And we're just, I've got a scale. We're weighing him.
Hard being on the outside.
It is. And coming through C-section, they didn't have the ability to like enter the world like we're designed to, right? Which is fine. So anyway, she brought him back. They then moved. So they moved here and then they moved. So they lived like 45 minutes away. So during that move, she canceled care for the little guy, because to get 4 kids and a newborn in the car and drive 45 minutes was a lot. And so she brought him back 2 weeks ago, and she's like, he just is mad at life. And he's been mad since the beginning, and I don't know. And so anyway, the next week she brought her 3-year-old in, and this little doll, I could eat this child. She's so cute. Before she had red hair, they named her Rosie, which I won't share any more about that. Yeah. She's so cute. But as she's starting this little one under care, she said, I have to tell you, I could cry right now. She said, we left here. I have a completely new baby. Wow. She said, he has changed his entire attitude about life. I said, if you could please just write it down for me, because then I can screenshot it instead of just trying to share it here. I can screenshot it and share it out on the social. She's like, he's happy. He's smiling for the first time in his 8 or 9 months of life. I think he's like probably 8 months now. He hasn't smiled. He's been ornery from the start, from sun up to sundown every day. He's thriving, so he's fine, but he's on the gas pedal in this. And she's like, I have a new baby. I would weep right now if I didn't have this little child, my 3-year-old on my lap right now, or starting care with her. Oh my gosh. And it's those stories, which is the reason why we're here with you guys every week, is because we don't have another way. We're busy. We don't have another way to get out there and explain some of the things that we're seeing on the daily. But this is regular in our office. This is regular stuff. Then we're not taking it for granted, but kind of we do, and we forget to get out there and share. That's why we're so committed to this Thursday time slot.
Well, and I think, I don't know, we may have told some stories twice, but we come on here most of the time with new stories every week. So yeah, these miracles happen each and every week. And if I can segue with that, that's why we are moving ourselves to our own dedicated channel, and the channel will be called Chiropractic is Sexy. So I think we've been talking about this for a few months now, and Dr. Eric and I, because we're so busy, we are finally tomorrow. We figured we would give ourselves through the end of the year and make this start in the new year. And so we are having our brainstorm session tomorrow. And I don't know if anybody remembers, but we went live last year for our brainstorm sesh.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to go live.
Yeah, so
sometime after 12:30-ish.
Something like that. You'll see us tomorrow afternoon. We'll do a surprise, brainstorm sesh. But the idea was that we really wanted to. We are committed to this. We have over 71 episodes of Chiropractic is Sexy. So we are committed, we are dedicated. There's no quit day on this. So we're not doing that. And we are leaning even further into it. So we're just going to be more intentional and make sure that we can bring this content to you in a way so that we can really expand and grow. And we truly believe that this platform will allow us to reach millions of people and help inspire millions of individuals and families to get under chiropractic care. So if we can be a hub and a portal for health and wellness and questions and fears, what are your fears about chiropractic? How can we help break through those barriers and get you to a place that is someone within our networks that we would trust to send you to. So we have people that we know all over the United States.
All over the globe too.
All over the globe, right? So we are taking this channel and we're expanding it. The change piece of it. So part of the why it's so cumbersome, if we go back to where we started with New Year's resolutions, is it's cumbersome, it's clunky. It's the flow. How do we figure out the flow? What do we want to do? How are we going to make this shift so that it feels right and comfortable? And it's not going to look perfect. We recognize that, but we're committed to doing it. We have to go in and we're going to strip all the episodes off of my Streamyard and we're going to load them up into the new platform. So when you come there, all of these videos will actually be on that new platform. That's going to take a minute. So that's also why we just haven't made the move yet, because we know there's going to be work, dedication, commitment, consistency, and we're committed to doing it. We just had to make sure we carved out the time so that we didn't half-ass it.
I know. And to be honest, like, first of all, the word quit, like, if you know her and you know me, there's no quit. Like, there's not a quit in our world. So Quitters Day, we don't do the Quitters Day. So I hope you guys don't either. But also when I think about even having like 4 or 5 dedicated hours to it, like we'd probably need like a whole week retreat to really get this where we really want it to be, because we have so much content already. And we want to, launch it up on the audio platforms, like the regular podcast platforms too, and get it situated. But we're going to start like this bite-sized piece. And then, I know we'll get together a little bit more regularly, just because we're in it with you all and happy to be here. And actually it drives both her and I, the energies of our office and our day-to-day is like, we get to tap in with all of you and with each other and get to talk the miracles that we get to see every day. And that is what the magic when we were back in school around surrounding all of that. But now we're kind of out on our own islands. And so this has just been awesome, just totally awesome for both of us.
And thinking about change and thinking about what do we want to see? This is going back to when you dabble in chiropractic, when you dabble in nutrition, when you dabble in exercising. We've been doing this now since November of 23, October, maybe like I say, there's 71 episodes over the past almost year and a half. We can look at this show and we can say, it's grown a little bit, it's grown a little, it's not working. That's what, and Dr. Erica and I are very high functioning, driven women. We want to see success come from everything we touch. We also know when to tap out. But so if we were the average person, we could easily say, this isn't working. We don't have 1 million followers or 10,000 followers or whatever it is. There's Kev. Hey, Kev.
Hi, Kev.
So we have a choice to say, well, it's not growing. You know what? It's not working. We should just stop. That's what most people will do, you guys. That's why tomorrow is Quitter's Day. Most people would just quit. But Dr. Erica and I are going to sit down and we're going to brainstorm and we're going to troubleshoot this and go, no, we've got gold here.
Yeah,
what are we missing? What do we need to lean into? What do we need to do more of? What do we need to do differently? How can we restructure it? So we're committed to seeing this grow. But many of you would be like, I went and worked out for 2 weeks and I didn't lose any weight. It's not working. No, that's not how life works. Restructure it, sit back into it, look at it from a different lens and come up with a new plan so you can find the success that you want in life.
Absolutely. Yeah. Apply across the board to everything in life. So, and really, I mean, if we really look at this, like this is 8 months meeting overdue.
Yeah. First, it really is.
Just because we're going a lot of different directions and it's not even an excuse. It's like, we just need, we need a whole weekend, but we'll start with whatever many hours we can get tomorrow and get this thing situated. So yeah.
Well, and then summer came, right? Summer came and it was like, nobody really wants to do a whole lot of work in the summer, especially here in Michigan when we only have 3 months of really amazing weather. So it's cold and we've decided that we're gonna dive into it. Thanks, Kev. You all have me fired up. Definitely in the gym tonight. Fitness is a lifestyle. Yes, hard work, dedication, and consistency. Bravo, my friend. I'm so happy to hear that. Yes. And,
all right. Well, with that, we will sign off and we will pop in sometime tomorrow for sure.
Yes. And, so stay tuned. So fingers crossed, we will be on the new channel by next week.
Wouldn't that be fancy?
You guys, I just got a little bit of butterflies in my stomach when I said that. So
I love it.
All right. Stay tuned. Also, listen, there's a link down below in the show notes. Click on that and get on our mailing list because that way we can let you know when the new channel goes live and let you know of all the new fun things we're doing. So make sure you sign up for our list so we can keep you apprised of all the growth that we have coming up. So, all right, you guys, have an amazing week. We'll see you soon.